Well, it is Wednesday, the 13th day of April 2022. Thank you for choosing Hope TV, where you look and live. I'm Tess Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Newswatch now begins. Minority Leader in the National Assembly, John Mbadi, has accused Deputy President William Ruto of insincerity when it comes to dealing with the welfare of Kenyans. This is in relation with DP Ruto's statement on the 2022-2023 financial year budget proposals that were read before Parliament last Thursday. Ruto tore into the 2022-2023 budget proposals, saying Kenyans are overburdened. Minority Leader in the National Assembly, John Mbadi, had accused Deputy President William Ruto of insincerity when it comes to dealing with the welfare of Kenyans. This is in relation with DP Ruto's statement on the 2022-2023 financial year budget proposals that were read before Parliament last Thursday. Ruto faulted the proposals, saying they are not economic friendly and that the government is out to burden the already overburdened citizens, and that his team will reject the proposals in Parliament. I apologize for that repetition. Mbadi, who also called out fuel suppliers for hoarding the commodity, termed Ruto's statement as incorrect, saying he should help in coming up with solutions instead of criticizing the government in which he is part of. Dickens Luvanda now reports.
Nyinyi mnajua budget imesomwa juzi. Hiyo budget inataka kuongeza bei ya maji. Sijui iongeze bei ya mkate. Sijui iongeze bei ya unga. Sijui iongeze bei ya nduthi. Sisi tunataka kuambia hiyo budget haiwezi kupita kwa bunge. Na ikipita kwa bunge miezi mitatu baadaye tutaibadilisha iwe ni budget ya mwananchi wa kawaida.
Deputy President William Ruto's criticism on the 3.31 trillion 2022-2023 financial year budget statement that was proposed before Parliament last Thursday by Treasury CS Ukur Yatani has caught the attention of the National Assembly Minority Leader John Mbadi.
After these highlights were read last week, we have been treated to what I would call some political rhetorics, what I would call political conmanship, dishonest statements coming from the Deputy President, William Ruto.
The Suba South Member of Parliament addressed journalists in his Nairobi office, where he accused DP Ruto of playing populist politics after he rejected the budget proposals presented in Parliament last week, instead of being part of the solutions to the current economic breakdown.
Because he's going for presidency, Ruto wants to cheat Kenyans. That is the one, is the voice of the poor. That is speaking for the poor. We cannot allow someone at the level of a deputy president to play politics, to dance on the graves of poor Kenyans who are suffering because they cannot eat, they cannot feed themselves. This is the time for leaders to come up with concrete solutions. And one of the solutions I propose is that we sit and agree that we must increase and give more money for stabilization of petroleum products. Because if you interfere with the cost of energy, there is general interference with the price of all basic commodities.
According to the lawmaker, Ruto supported the VAT Act that levied taxes on basic commodities in the year 2014 and oversaw a failed Minister of Agriculture since 2013, noting that Parliament will not pass any law that proposes to increase taxes on basic commodities, and so Kenyans should not worry.
National Assembly of the Republic of Kenya cannot participate in any effort or support any initiative, any proposal that would result in increase in the price of any basic commodity. And as a leader of minority, our members in the Finance Committee are already briefed and have instructions that any proposal in the finance bill that is going to affect the prices of any basic commodity would not be accepted.
Mbadi also took issue with the ongoing fuel shortage crisis, saying the government has sufficient stocks, but unscrupulous fuel dealers are holding the commodity, waiting for the April 14th IPRA review so as to make extra profits and milk Kenyans.
There are those who are pushing this theory that it was because of subsidies that the money had not been released to oil marketers. That has since been done, or at least substantially. And again, this is not the first time that government has delayed in giving oil marketers the subsidy. There are some marketers who believe that automatically fuel prices is going to increase. And therefore they want to maximize as much as possible on profit by holding the fuel which were bought at a cheaper price to detain it or retain it a little longer, so that when that spike occurs, they maximize profit. You know, we have business people in this world and this country who are unscrupulous, who are not even human. People who would even kill others to make profit. I only hope that after tomorrow that they will now release the fuel to the market, because tomorrow they were expecting price variation.
Dickens Luvanda, Hope TV News.
Thank you, Dickens, for that report. Now, close to 5,000 aspirants are set to take part in the United Democratic Party primaries slated for Thursday in 35 counties across the country. Speaking at his official residence in Karen on Wednesday, UDA party leader, Deputy President William Ruto, has asked aspirants to ensure their supporters do not engage in violent activities during the primaries. There will, however, be primary exemptions in 3 constituencies, which are Nandi Hills, which one of the aspirants passed away, and Nakuru West and Nakuru South, where there has been a mix-up of ballot papers. As Kennedy Kimani now reports, an aspirant for the Imenti South Member of Parliament seat under the UDA party, Jesse Mudhomi, alias MC Jesse, has dropped out of the race in favor of Mwiti Kadhara. In a statement by Deputy President William Ruto via his Twitter handle, Jesse Mudhomi will now take up a role in DP Ruto's presidential campaign team.
Tomorrow, for the record, I am asking all our aspirants across the country, because tomorrow we will have a near general election in Kenya.
It will be a do-or-die battle for aspirants in the UDA party as the party begins its party primaries on Thursday in 35 counties across the country. Speaking at his official residence in Karen on Wednesday, UDA party leader Deputy President William Ruto has asked aspirants to ensure their supporters do not engage in violent activities during the primaries, at the same time assuring aspirants that the exercise will be free, fair and democratic.
I want to ask each and every candidate, each and every aspirant to participate in the primaries tomorrow peacefully, to make sure that their supporters are peaceful. We have committed that the elections will be free, fair and democratic. We have made all the necessary arrangements. We have dispatched all the ballot papers today, later today, tomorrow very early in the morning. All the ballot papers will be in the stations across the country.
According to UDA's National Elections Board Chairman Anthony Mwaura, the party's registered members are set to participate in the party's nomination exercise that has been dubbed a mini-election, where 981 electoral seats are up for grabs.
There will be exception of 3 constituencies, that is Nandi Hills, Nakuru Town West and Narok South. There is the issue of we had a death of one of our candidates in Nandi Hills, who died through a road accident. In Nakuru West and Narok South, there was a little bit of mix-up of the ballot papers. So you'll be conducting those nominations on 19th April.
Meanwhile, the aspirant for the Imenti South constituency seat under the UDA party, Jesse Mudhomi, also known as MC Jesse, has dropped out of the race in favor of Mwiti Kadhara. In a statement by Deputy President William Ruto via his Twitter handle, Jesse Mudhomi will now take up a role in DP Ruto's presidential campaign team. An ugly incident was, however, witnessed today in Embu town after a lorry that was transporting ballot materials from Mbeere South to Isaac Walton Hotel ahead of the primaries on Thursday was ransacked, with ballot boxes and papers set on fire. Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV Newswatch.
Much appreciated, Kennedy, for that report. Still in politics, the Wiper Democratic Movement Party has insisted that former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko is free to run for the Mombasa governor's seat. The The country's party chairman, Sheikh Twaha Omar, said the party has not closed its doors on Sonko in seeking its ticket to run for the seat. He was speaking Wednesday at Serani Primary School in Old Town Ward during a press briefing on the party MCA nominations in 29 out of 30 wards in Mombasa County. Sonko will battle it out for the ticket with Kisauni Member of Parliament Ali Mbogo, who was initially the only candidate in the contest. Sonko already submitted his credentials to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, for verification.
Sisi kama Wiper ndani ya Mombasa katika viti vya ward ambavyo ni viti 30, tunashukuru sisi tumejaza, tuna candidate viti 29. Kimoja tu ndio hatuna, na ambacho hatuna ni kule airport kwa sababu maalum, airport ward ambayo iko Changamwe. Na katika wanaosimama ubunge katika nafasi 6 ama maeneo bunge 6 tuna watano na
And the UDA party has warned political aspirants who might have perpetuated the violence witnessed in Embu today ahead of tomorrow's party nominations. This is after rowdy youth in Embu ransacked a lorry carrying the party's nomination materials and set on fire ballot boxes. The party Secretary General Veronica Maina is in a press briefing this evening said the investigations have commenced into the incident and that any UDA candidates found culpable will be disqualified.
We wish to tell all our voters that we are ready now. All the materials have reached their destinations, and we are geared now, ready geared to carry out the nominations tomorrow. Our officials who are supposed to oversee these elections are already in place, and the National Elections Board has noted fake news being circulated on social media purporting to show that some aspirants has already been given nomination certificates.
We noted that some goons attempted to burn our ballot boxes and our electoral material before the same was dispatched to various constituencies. That material was coming from the county tallying center, and it was genuine and valid material, and that is material that has been distributed across all the counties. It was not different from any other material that is being distributed in the whole country. It was being distributed during daytime. There was nothing suspicious about that distribution of the material. So the parties that orchestrated the burning and the violence that surrounded the burning of that material did it deliberately to forestall or to cause obstacles towards the nomination process in Embu. The party leadership has spoken to Honorable Cecil Balire. The party leadership has spoken to Honorable Norman Nyaga and Honorable Mushiri. We believe that after speaking to these three, we have now commenced investigations that have led to these ugly incidents in Embu. We want to say this: we are almost concluding these investigations, and we are having very, very good leads. If any aspirant or any person is found culpable, especially the aspirants category, that person will be dealt with so very firmly to a point of even being disqualified by the party against holding any ticket from the UDA party.
Chiefs have been warned against officiating informal forums when handling cases involving underage pregnancies. While addressing 114 chiefs drawn from the 47 counties today at the Nyeri Caritas Social Hall, Interior CS Dr. Fred Matiang'i noted that cases involving teenage pregnancies have been on a steady rise in recent months and said the trend portends a real threat to the country's future. Matiang'i nevertheless underscored the government's commitment in addressing the plight affecting the administrators, including improving their working environment and a flexible scheme of service. Interior PS Dr. Karanja Kibicho, on his part, said chiefs were a vital cog in coordination of government policies at the grassroots and therefore need respect and support to enable them achieve their mandate.
The people who are supposed to do the detection of any insecurity, any collapse of social order are these people. So they are at the grassroots, analala mahali watu wako, wanaongea na hao watu, and the early detection of crime is done. And that's why we have order in this country. Mkipigie makofi.
If you, as the national government administrators, the chiefs, assistant chiefs, all the way up to the regional commissioners, you are the ones who hold the country together. Ama namna gani? That's why when somebody was saying it, we abolish, in those days, abolish provincial administration. As mauwe uko na shida kwa kitu. Because how would you govern the country? Ukiangalia ile kazi tumefanya hapa, when I list down the things that have been happening in this country, na ulizanga watu, how will you move forward to implement national government programs without the national government administration? Because ikifika wakati wa 100% transition, tunaenda kwa nani? Ikifika kwa registration ya huduma center, tunaenda kwa nani? Ikienda kwa fighting FGM and gender violence, tunaenda kwa nani? Hivi karibuni wakati tumeanza sasa mambo ya chanjo, kwanza tuanze COVID-19 fighting, tulienda kwa nani?
Christ is the Answer Ministries Media Board has today officially welcomed the new head of media, Dismas Makanda. Speaking during the meeting with the media board, the chair of the board, Esther Chengo, said that they are honored to introduce the new head of media and are looking forward to see Hope Media move to the next level. On his part, the new head of Hope Media, Dismas Makanda, thanked the media board for the warm welcome and assured Hope TV viewers and Hope FM listeners to expect good things in the future.
Today is a landmark day for us in Hope Media. We are honored to have met and to introduce to you the new head of media, Mr. Makanda. As a Hope Media Board, today we've had some meaningful, helpful, insightful discussions on the next steps for our ministry, on the next steps for CITAM concerning Hope Media. And I am speaking to you as Esther Chengo, and I am the chairperson of Hope Media Board.
My name is Dismas Makanda, the new head of media at CITAM, one of the leading Christian media house in the country and beyond Kenya. Today I'm so grateful that I've received a warm welcome from the board, people that have a lot of experience, and I'm ready to learn from them. I want to assure our viewers and our listeners that you be prepared for good things to come, and we can only take the media house to the next level.
Hope Media is strategically placed to speak into the various strata of society. We believe that we're able to reach out to the government officials, reaching out to the business persons, reaching out to the common mwananchi. And our message is one, that Christ still is relevant in this day and age. So as Hope Media, we believe that we are a voice of reason. We believe that we are a voice that can be able to project Christian values through various media and be able to uphold Christian content even in the heat of things. I know that 2022 is an election year, and as a board we are very vast with what's about to happen. We think about the primaries that are coming up, thinking about the elections in August, and there are possibilities that there could be voices all around using other kinds of media that would want to propagate wrong values. But as Hope Media, we are very keen to know Christ and to make Christ known throughout the strata of society.
There's no take two.
Well, on that note, let's take our first break on Newswatch tonight. We have plenty more news after the break.
Hope TV is now available on GoTV Channel 103, Zuku Channel 873, Signet Channel 817 and Star Times Channel 026. Enjoy our uplifting content and family-friendly programming anytime. Hope TV, you look and live.
Welcome back. Survivors and relatives of victims of the 1998 Nairobi bomb blast now want Kenya and the United States to finally compensate them. 24 years since the attack on the U.S. Embassy, the victims said the two governments forgotten about them despite the ordeal they had to go through. In a meeting on Wednesday, the survivors met with legal team and partners from USA in a rally to proclaim a pathway to victory and equal justice for Africa's victims and survivors of the USA Embassy bombing on August 7, 1998 in both Kenya and Tanzania. Dolly Murigi has more. Moving on, at least 3.5 million Kenyans are currently affected with the ongoing drought. Although there are current mitigation measures by the government to cushion affected Kenyans, including food distribution and cash transfers, it is proving to be little as the numbers continue growing. A section of civil society, including the Root to Food Initiative and Consumers Grassroots Association, have called on the government to ensure enough resources are channeled to address the hunger crisis. Grace Wangoi now reports.
The ongoing drought in the country that is affecting about 3.5 million Kenyans continues to draw attention from the public and civil society, coupled with the fact that Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani delivered the 2022-2023 budget proposal that allocated 46.8 billion shillings to enhancing food and nutrition security to all Kenyans, and with the supplementary budget prioritizing drought mitigation measures, the question still remains whether it is enough. The 2022-2023 supplementary budget has proposed to give the Department for Social Protection 2.4 billion shillings for cash transfers to households in drought-stricken regions. An additional 1.4 billion shillings will go to the Ministry of Defence for Kenya Meat Commission for a livestock uptake program to cushion pastoralists. Further, Treasury CS Ukur Yatani proposed that 1.2 billion shillings be used for direct mitigation efforts such as water and relief food supply to hunger-stricken households. On this note, a group of civil society have come out to demand that the government moving forward provides detailed report on the ongoing situation, including the number of deaths and exact numbers of people who have received intervention from the government. According to the Route to Food Initiative, without transparency on the government side, it's impossible to know whether Kenyans affected are accessing the help they need.
The government does not just come and throw information to us and say, we have launched this intervention and all this. They have to give clear information and a clear report to Kenyans on what is actually happening, because that is the only way the citizen is now empowered through the information to give their voice and to question and to demand more action and to demand more support if need be. So that is why we are asking for that clear report.
The civil society groups took an issue with the allocation to agriculture sector, saying it was a drop in the ocean for a sector that needs more resources. They downplayed the huge allocations to infrastructure that had no direct impact to citizens who are facing imminent starvation.
In the budget read a few days ago, only 2% was allocated to agriculture, despite the Kenyan government being a signatory of the Maputo Protocol, which committed allocating up to 10% of its budget to agriculture. We cannot continue denying the agriculture sector and food-related sectors funds at the expense of sectors like infrastructure. We need to go back to the basics. What is more important?
We are calling on the government to do everything possible
as organizations, we have given ourselves to the cause, and we are calling on the government to do everything possible. Use, as you said, to the last coin that we have in our country to ensure that we protect the lives of the citizens of this country.
Grace Wangoi for Hope TV News Watch.
Now, the family of a politician who died in Changamwe police cell is crying for justice as it seeks to unravel how their beloved kin met his death. The deceased Andrew Musakale was vying for a member of county assembly seat on a UDA ticket. According to the deceased brother Billy Musakale, the late Andrew Musakale was picked from his home in Jomvu constituency at night by police officers from Mikindani police station for failing to pay a 50,000 shilling debt. According to Billy, the deceased's wife pleaded with police to let him report to the station the following morning due to his health condition, but the officers declined to grant her request and took him to Mikindani police station and placed him in custody where he mysteriously died.
Yasemekana palikuwa pana kesi ya mtu kama yomdai.
Mungu yuwaitana for help. Akisema aitwa askari pale nje. Askari aliitwa kwa yuwaitwa. Askari alivorudi pale akasema, "Ni nani huyo ananitaka hapo?" Babangu alizungumza, "Ni mtoto wangu. Njooni mumsikize. Mimi naumia. Nafa." Babangu alivyosema vile, askari nikamwambia, "Baba, ika loudspeaker kama askari hataki kushika simu." Simu yangu ilivyoenda kwa askari, kwanza nikajitambulisha. Nikamwambia mimi naitwa Amal. Na mara nyingi sana nafanya kazi na serikali sana kuwasaidia mwanzo watu wa IPOA, mambo ya DCIO, speed, mambo mingi sana nashughulika nao. Naomba kwa heshima yenu, mtoeni babangu hapo nje apate hewa. Askari alinijibu mimi, "Your dad is pretending. He is not sick."
Kitu ambacho chanishangaza mimi, bwana kama alikuwa kweli ameenda kuchukuliwa nyumbani, kama ameenda kuchukuliwa nyumbani, si lazima kuna mtu mlalamishi huwa ameandika. Lakini pale haiko kivipi? Pana nini? Yaani pana nini panajiri pale? Na sasa hiyo walalamishi wote wale kama kila mtu ameenda chini ya maji. Polisi wasema alikuwa amekuja tu kuhojiwa. Huyo alikufia nje alipokaa. Nikaoneshwa zile picha zake, lakini bado roho yangu bado haijanipa.
So far saizi tunangojea postmortem ifanywe, the exam ifanywe, na tumeagree na watu wa IPOA ya kwamba investigation itafanywa ndipo iweze kueleweka ni cause of death ni nani, ni nini na nani amekuwa responsible kwa kifo cha huyu bwana.
Coast Intercommunities Forum for Azimio la Umoja, a local lobby group in Mombasa County, has called for political tolerance ahead of the August polls. Led by Vice Chairman Michael Kitutu, the group said the country cannot afford to go back to where it was in 2007. Kitutu has condemned the stoning of Raila Odinga's chopper during the burial of the late Mzee Jackson Kibor in Uasin Gishu County. Addressing the press in Mombasa during their door-to-door awareness campaign, Kitutu said the group has kicked off economic awareness campaign in all the 30 wards on how a Raila presidency may revolutionize the economy of the country.
Tuko hapa leo ili kuweza kuzungumza na wananchi katika ile hali ya mikakati ya kuweza kumarket ama kucampaign for our presidential candidate, the Azimio presidential candidate Raila Amolo Odinga. Na kwa nini tumesema ni Raila Amolo Odinga? Tumesema hivyo kwa sababu tumeangalia katika wale presidential contendant ambao wameweza kusimama, tukaona peke yake ndo wako na ujuzi, ndo amejaribiwa, amekuwa tested and tried, na kuna leadership credentials ambapo tunaona wa Kenya na especially wa Pwani wataweza kunufaika kama tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 mwaka huu tunaweza kupata Raila Amolo Odinga amechaguliwa kama President of the Republic of Kenya. Sisi kama wa Pwani, watu ambao tunakaa eneo hili, tumeona zile economic dispensation ambayo imeletwa na partnership ya Raila Amolo Odinga akiungana na mwenzake Mheshimiwa the President Uhuru Kenyatta. Baada ya handshake kumekuwa na economic revolution hapa pwani. Kwa mfano, tunaweza kutaja tukasema Makupa Causeway Bridge is almost 80% complete, na hiyo yote imeletwa na ile uhusiano ama partnership mzuri wa kiuchumi ambao umekuwa kati ya Raila Amolo Odinga na mwenzake handshake partner ambaye ni Uhuru Kenyatta.
The Nyandarua County Government has issued certificates of appreciation to the clergy and churches for being in the forefront in the war against the spread of the novel coronavirus. While rewarding them, Governor Francis Kimemia said the clerics under the umbrella of the Interfaith Council played a key role in the battle against the pandemic by being on the front line in talking to the people and assisting in the observation of the COVID-19 protocols. On their part, the clergy, through Nyandarua Interfaith Chair Josam Kariuki, hailed the move, saying that the county administration has always involved the church in their doings and called upon the populace to keep observing set protocols.
Viongozi wa dini walijitolea, hakuna wakati walitulia, walitembea kila mahali kuhakikisha kwamba kila mtu amepewa maneno ama information kuhusu ugonjwa wa COVID na wakatahadhari. Na viongozi wa dini katika kaunti ya Nyandarua tunawashukuru na tunawasifia, na kwa niaba ya Interfaith Council ambayo imeongozwa na Archbishop Mweria, ningechukua nafasi hii niwapongeze na niwaambie Mungu azidi kuwabariki.
Langu ni kuwahimiza Wakristo na watu wote tuendelee kujikinga, kwa sababu hata kama tumesikia COVID imeisha, yale ambao tunaweza tukafanya tusiweze kuingia katika shida tulikuwa, tuweze kuendelea kujiangalia, na zaidi ya yote wakati huu tunapoingia wakati wa uchaguzi, amani iwe kama vile wote tunasema, tudumisha amani katika madhehebu yetu na katika mikutano yetu.
A group of Democratic Party grassroots leaders and aspirants in Embu have defended party leader Justin Muturi's move of entering into a coalition agreement with Kenya Kwanza Alliance. This comes days after a group of party members opposed the move by Muturi of joining forces with Kenya Kwanza, saying it was contrary to the party's resolution reached at their NDC to the effect that it was not going to join any coalition before the August 9th general elections.
This is our stand as leaders and members of Democratic Party of Kenya from Mount Kenya region. One is that we are in support of the signed agreement. Two, we support our party leader, Right Honorable J.B. Muturi, in whatever move he takes. Number three, we are comfortable with working with the Kenya Kwanza coalition. Therefore, as party leaders, we confirm that the party leader and the top leadership consulted party members before going ahead to sign the agreement. Therefore, the agreement was signed in the presence of party leadership, including the party leader himself, J.B. Muturi, Secretary General Jacob Haji, the patron, Honorable Munyao, the party chairman, Honorable Kioni, and the several party members and aspirants from across the country.
Sisi kama DP katika ile vyama ingine tunafaa tuwe consistent, ndio kama ni deputy president tupatiwe, lakini tungeomba William Ruto, kwa sababu yeye ndiye alianza hii mambo ya UDA, Kenya Kwanza na ile vyama vingine, tuwe consistent kwa viti zingine, kwa sababu sisi Mount Kenya region, unajua katika Kenya tuko na about 6 million voters, na tuna support kwa sababu tunajua serikali inakuja, tutahakikisha hiyo kura zote tutangangana siende kwa Kenya Kwanza.
Tunaweza sikia vizuri kiongozi wetu J.B. Muturi akipewa nafasi ya kuwe the deputy president, ni kwamba kwa sababu J.B. Muturi ako na experience ya miaka 10 akiwa namba 3 katika hii nchi. So yeye tunaona akiwa anafaa zaidi juu yeye ako na hiyo experience kuliko wale wengine wako nao, na pia uwezi toka namba 3 uende namba 4 urudi nyuma. Ile unafaa kupewa ni hiyo namba 2 juu wewe uko na experience, ama namba 1.
Na lombi Embu letu ni moja tu.
Tukiangalia spika wetu ama kiongozi wetu, party leader wetu JB Muturi amekuwa kiongozi wa kitaifa. Amekuwa namba 3 kwa kitaifa. Tukianzia rais, naibu wake, tunaenda kwa spika, ndiye namba 3. Kwa hivyo tunaomba viongozi wa Kenya Kwanza Alliance waconsider ama waangalie kwamba JB Muturi akuwe deputy president wa nchi yetu ya Kenya. Maana wewe toka namba 3 uende namba 4 ama namba 5. Na ndio sababu tukaungana na wao tukajua mazungumzo yatakuwa mzuri. Na kiongozi wetu tunajua hawalali usiku na mchana wakizungumzia mambo mzuri ya Mkenya wa kawaida.
Early campaigns for the August 9th polls are likely to interfere with learning in schools through disruption by noise and absenteeism if relevant laws are not enforced. This is according to Kisii County Education Board Chairman Professor Henry Onderi, who urged aspirants for various political seats to respect the rights of children to access formal education. Onderi equally cautioned parents and guardians not to neglect their children's education at the expense of the campaigns, adding that they risked prosecution under the Education Act. The chairman's sentiments came at a time schools are almost reopening for the first term in the revised school calendar and official commencement of election campaigns.
I also urge the politicians to desist from allowing our youths in schools joining their campaign trails, because then you are actually interfering with the normal learning in schools. Wherever you have campaigns, anywhere in any region where you are aspiring to be an MCA, an MP, senator, women rep, possibly a governor, we call upon you to consider doing this far from the schools, doing this, avoiding the young ones from schools coming to join you and leaving schools or abandoning schools. Any parent who shall allow the children to follow politicians shall face the law.
Across our borders, shipping activities at South Africa's busiest port of Durban, have been suspended following severe flooding in the KwaZulu-Natal province that has so far claimed at least 60 lives. Torrents have already cut off many roads, collapsed houses and bridges, submerged cars, and stockpiles of containers have been seen floating, including in the province's largest city, Durban. South Africa's army has been deployed to participate in rescue operations as residents, including school children, were trapped for several hours because of the rising waters.
The Bible is unchanging and timeless, and its words are relevant for every generation. Join Dr. David Jeremiah each week on Turning Point as he delivers the unchanging Word of God to an ever-changing world. With his sincere, straightforward teaching style, David Jeremiah provides a rich study of Scripture from which you can find spiritual strength, encouragement, and guidance for today's world. Join Dr. Jeremiah every week on Turning Point, right here on this station.
On that note, let's take our last break on Newswatch tonight. We will be back with business news. The Kenya National Chambers of Commerce and Industry, KNCCI Mombasa chapter, has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ugandan consulate that is expected to boost trade between Kenya and Uganda. Ugandan Consulate General to Kenya, Paul Makumbia, and KNCCI Mombasa chapter chairman, Mustafa Ramadhan, appended their signatures to the MOU that is expected to strengthen bilateral ties and push for new markets for agricultural products from the two countries. The signing of the agreement is to actualize the resolutions reached during a two-day Kenya-Uganda Agribusiness Symposium and Expo held last year at the Pride Inn Hotel in Shanzu.
Uganda is a natural, a partnership with Uganda is natural. We are separated, as I've always said, by an artificial line that we did not draw. They have traditionally been our biggest export market. The numbers are now improving, the trade numbers, both from Uganda into Kenya and from Kenya to Uganda. We held an agribusiness symposium sometime last year, a very successful one, I might say. A number of issues arose out of that meeting that we are working on. Some of them we have gotten resolved as we are working to resolve other ones. This MOU provides a platform for further collaboration between the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce in Mombasa and the Consul General of Uganda.
Uganda and Kenya are the biggest trading partners. Over the years, Uganda has relied a lot on the Kenyan market, especially the days when we had a lot of shortages in Uganda. But with time, Uganda's capacity to produce, to manufacture, has greatly improved. And therefore, we have reached a stage where we have surpluses. And when we have surpluses on the local Ugandan market, then we need to consolidate or look for new markets outside. Therefore, the agribusiness symposium and the exhibition that we held last year was made to see how the two countries can better cooperate, one, to enhance trade, but also two, to deal with the bottlenecks, the tariff and non-tariff barriers that were hindering the smooth flow.
Maize farmers in Kitui West Sub-County are staring at losses after army worms invaded their farms, destroying tens of acres of the crop and pasture land. The worms have extensively devoured stems and leaves of the young crops and diminished grass, thereby threatening food security for both the locals and their animals. According to the residents, the worms were spotted about a week ago, but were overlooked until they swarmed their farms and pasture lands, leaving serious damage in their wake. John Sandy of Matinyani village said the African armyworms had destroyed almost his entire maize crop, forcing him to resow. Kitui County Chief Officer for Agriculture Kioko Kiilu affirmed the county's administration's commitment to assist the farmers in dealing with the armyworms invasion to avert food insecurity.
Haya, sisi tuko na shida ya shamba. Kuna wadudu wamekuja kwa shamba yetu, wameharibu mimea na vinyasi, inaitwa viwavi, na tuko na shida sana, lakini kaunti yetu ya Kitui imesikia kilio yetu na imetuletea dawa. Kwa hivyo tutapiga dawa tuone kama itaisha.
Janga la njaa hiyo lazima itakuwa, kwa sababu tunategemea hizi mashamba. Hakuna kazi tunafanya hii ya kazi ya jua kali kilimo. Tuko na ng'ombe, tunalisha wa ng'ombe. Sasa njaa ya street hiyo itakuwa, kwa sababu sijui mwezi wa 8 wa 9 tutafanyaje. Tungependa serikali iendelee kutusaidia, juu hata yenyewe inaona venye mambo inaendelea na sio kupenda kwa mtu.
African armyworm ni ile insecticide, inakula aina ya nyasi, mahindi, napier grass, inakula yote, inamaliza na inakuanga ina 7 instars, na kufikia hapa tumeona ile iko hapa, iko kwa the second and the third instar ile inakulanga. Lakini tunashukuru Mungu kwa sababu hata zile zinapatikana kwa nyasi, hata dege wamepata chakula, inazidi kukuliwa na dege, na tunaona tukipiga dawa zile ziko kwa shamba na zile ziko kwa nyasi zikuliwa na dege, alafu tunajua kwamba hata mvua kubwa ikinyesha hizi armyworms zitaweza kuisha. Kwa hivyo tunaambia wakulima wetu wakuwa watulivu, tuko na dawa ya kutosha, tuko na ma-experts, ma-agricultural experts, na tutamalizana na hizi African armyworms.
Now in sports, President Uhuru Kenyatta has today officially opened the multi-purpose Ulinzi Sports Complex at the Lang'ata Barracks, a facility that hosts multi-sports venues to be used by Kenya Defence Forces sports teams. The ultra-modern 7,500 capacity stadium is a track and field facility that's equipped with state-of-the-art equipment to cater for the fitness and sporting needs of the Kenya Defence Forces. The complex will also serve as home to all military teams, including Football Kenya Federation, Premier League side Ulinzi Stars. Some of the key facilities at the new Ulinzi Sports Complex include an international standard football pitch, 8-lane tartan athletics track, training fields, and an indoor arena, among other provisions. And Manchester United appointment of Erik ten Hag as their next permanent manager is all but done, with only signing of the contract and straightforward agreement with Ajax remaining to complete the process. United have settled on Ten Hag rather than Mauricio Pochettino as their ideal candidate, to take over the reins from Ralf Rangnick in the summer. He has already been interviewed for the role, as Ajax expect the 52-year-old to make the switch. The deal is expected to be on an initial 3-year basis, with the club having the option to enforce an additional 12 months. And that's all we had for you on Newswatch tonight. Thank you so much for your valuable company and watching. I'm Tess Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Muriithi. Let's do this again tomorrow. Same time, same place, God willing. Have a good night.